Wow, you all quieted down so quickly. We'd love to have you here. Anyway, my name is Jan Clodner. Welcome. Bill and I are really excited for you guys to be here. This is a great crowd. It's good to be back. Good to see everybody. We'll have our name tags hopefully maybe next month so we can identify. It's kind of difficult when you haven't seen someone for several months to say, and you are? I don't remember, especially when you get old and you forget. But anyway, we're glad to have you here. Those of you on Zoom, we've got a nice crowd out there. Welcome. Lucinda is hosting everybody on Zoom. Lucinda, can you hear us?
We can. It's a little fuzzy.
Well, we can hear Lucinda, but we may check it out there. We're checking it out right now. So,
all right, good. And Jan, we need to see your screen.
Great. Anyway, we got a couple of things we want to get started with here. First of all, if you're there on Zoom, as we always tell you, your mic is muted. Lucinda, I think, took care of that. Make sure it stays that way so you don't accidentally say something you don't want to. And if you're on video with your camera, make sure that you're not out there cleaning the garage, making breakfast, or doing other things that the rest of us, because it's up on the screen, would not want to see. If you have questions, type them in the chat room, and we'll try to get to those. We'll keep those active, and we'll be read at the end of the meeting. And then for everybody here at Prestonwood, I want you to make sure you introduce yourself to everybody around the table, get to know each other, be respectful of everybody, and just have a great time. So that's it. And with that, we're going to get started.
Created over 1,000 jobs and 7 Ernst & Young Entrepreneurs of the Year.
And now, allow me to introduce to you my S&D business partner, longtime friend, but much younger, founder and CEO, Mr. Bill Wallace.
Thank you, Mr. Clodner. Wow, look at this room. Since February of last year, we've not had a room like this. Welcome to each and every one of you. We never thought we'd miss a meeting, 32 years. And March of last year, we actually did what we should have done. We are a community of community-focused leaders, and we canceled the March meeting. But during that time frame, we learned everything we could about Zoom, even talked to the CEO of Zoom. We learned everything we could about virtual, thanks to my friend over here, Jeff Hazlett. And we started the virtual. And I want to acknowledge one person right now, Jeff Crilly, and Jeff's studios, Real News PR, and Chris Gandria, because we broadcast from there. So from day one, it looked professional because it was. And now we're going to continue the virtual meetings as a hybrid part of these, and we're going to go back to having our town halls, which will be strictly virtual, which will bring people in from around the world as well. We're going to try to do those once a quarter. So a little bit of what's happening. So welcome back to our family home at Prestonwood Country Club. Give yourselves a hand. You know, when we look at our history, we look at our membership. I started this in 1988 at the behest of my 2 mentors, Herb Kelleher, the airline guy, and Roger Meyer, the Cadillac guy. And sitting in Herb's office one day, he said to me in March of 1988, he said, Wallace, when you figure out why I should do business with you, come back. Now get out and figure it out. And that's why I started Success North Dallas as a high-level networking group, mentor group, informal board of directors, to set not only myself apart from the herd, but to set all the members apart from the herd. And I think we have truly done that over the years. If you look at our logo, success is what we all aspire to. The interconnecting seas that you see, that's how we do it. Connecting the right people for the right reasons at the right time. The qualifications for membership are simple. Be a success in your own eyes. I have no right to define what success is for you, nor does anyone else. Honor your commitments. Let's go back to the handshake and be a giver. It's all about our fellow men and women. And that stand on servant leadership is what has embodied Success North Dallas since October of 1988. So a welcome to each and every one of you. Our new members, our guests, please make sure that you've signed up for our emails. We'll probably be giving away Cowboy game tickets again this year, as we did through Ford Lincoln Mercury last year. Great seats. Take a look at the website. Virtual attendees, please do sign up for our emails. And I want to say a thank you to Brad Parnell, RP1. That's one of the things that we did in March, April, and May is we completely redid our website, all of our marketing, all of our materials, all of those things that we hadn't had time to do the rest of the time. So take a look at it and find out what's new. And I want to thank the team. I do not do this alone. And each one of these people have their own companies, they're professionals. And so remember them and do business with them and support them just like our partner members as they support Success North Dallas. So Jan Claudner running Zoom over here. He's been with me since about halfway through the second year, actually probably the first year. So over 30 years we've been doing this together. And I couldn't have done it without it. Outside, you see Casey Haston. Casey, wave. How many episodes of your podcast are in the can? 95, soon to be 100. Again through Real News PR. What can we say? Luke Hollingsworth back here as well, helping Casey out front. Casey's our chief of staff. If it goes right, it's her fault. If it goes wrong, it's my fault. So, we know how that is. Lucinda runs our LinkedIn. She's also at home running the Zoom meeting from the standpoint of being our sergeant at arms, our gatekeeper, more or less. She is one of the few people trained by LinkedIn as a LinkedIn trainer worldwide. Crazy, wonderful lady. Tammy Barrier is nursing a bit of an illness today, does our bonus programs, our happy hours, of which we have several coming up. Misty Hoyt, where's Misty? Take a picture. There she is. New to the Plano Chamber Board of Directors, I understand. Congratulations. And we appreciate photography by Misty. Then we've got, Jeff Curley. I mentioned him already, but he does something called the Rundown. If you don't take it, be sure you subscribe to it. 365 days a year, he spotlights 3 things in the news with 3 people, experts, that he refers out to. And I can't tell you how many people from Success North Dallas have been a part of that. Thank you, Jeff Curley. Thank you to our videographer from Real News PR, Chris. We couldn't do it without you. Marriott Quorum's Aaron Cook, they put out our Irontown guest. And then, of course, we have to have an attorney. Everybody has an attorney in your group. Andrew Reed, he's helping with all of our audio, visual, and technology. New father, getting ready to celebrate his 1-year anniversary. All sorts of great things happening in your life. But congratulations and thank you. And then, of course, there's Kathy Clatterbaugh. Where's Kathy? Kathy is our Twitter expert. She blows up Twitter every meeting, literally. And I spend half a day responding to the stuff that she causes. And we love you. Lucinda, speaking of that, our social media, Lucinda and Kathy, it's a huge opportunity in this crazy world to connect and reconnect in so many new and better ways. But there's our handles. Please take a moment, let people know you're here and have fun with it. And in the news, I love in the news, I get to talk about people. I get to pay people back. But in the news, our first victim is Jeff Hazlett. And Jeff Hazlett, 2013, called me and said, I want to start something called C-Suite. I want to do it in Dallas. I think that was in case it didn't work out because he was from New York. And I want you to get 200 people, and I'll bring 100 from out of town. So, and he'll be here afterwards to talk to you about C-Suite and Hero Club. But Fairmont Hotel, 2014, we had 250 people, the first meeting and the inception of C-Suite. And Jeff was the CMO at Kodak when I first met him. And he's actually come down to Dallas 4 times to speak. He's won every award in the speaking and the marketing industry that you can have. So I'm talking a lot about him like I was going to introduce him as a speaker. But no, I'm just going to bring him up here. Come here, Mr. Hazlett. On behalf of Success North Dallas, it's time for you to become a Texan. And it's a Texan.
Little bit big, but everything's big in Texas, isn't it? Everything.
Your wife said you wore 7.5.
Well, I like that my wife thinks that things are bigger, but
7 3/4. What size do you wear?
7 1/4. But we'll fix it. We'll fix it.
We will go, I will take it back to Cavender's and they will ship you
I will love that.
a 7 1/4.
How's that
You
look?
don't have to take it
That
back.
looks pretty damn good, doesn't it? Thank you, brother. And I say this, when I say this to Bill, I do say brother, because he did invite me down a number of years ago when I was a CMO of Eastman Kodak before I went on and did my own show on Bloomberg. And as we were doing this, we thought, well, first of all, I saw what a great group. And I actually, and Bill will tell you, I tried to buy this group from Bill.
He did.
And not more than once. And I said, boy, you got something that's really hot. And let's replicate this. Let's look at this. And now Success North Dallas has become a part and integrated heavily with the C-Suite network. And we've grown this group to 350,000 members, 90 million views a month, millions of people on our podcast. We have over 400 podcasts today. We're the fastest growing business podcast network in the world. Over 75 TV shows and numerous groups. I know we've got a lot of our folks, everybody here. And I walk into the room and I feel like I'm from Texas because I know half the people in this room, which is just absolutely wonderful because you've been just a big part. And then other people who come, like Nelson Griswold here, you're probably going to introduce Nelson, but I'll do that. He leads one of the biggest masterminds in our group and has a group of people. I came down for that as well because he's got some of the biggest business consultants and groups in the benefit industry that are here. And then I've gotten good friends with Daniel LeBrod, who is not only just become he's not only just a great business person, but a good friend. And then so many others from Austin and everywhere else, all across the country. And I tell you what, I didn't know this was your first get together face to face.
Well, we've had two.
Okay. Well, this is the biggest one. We'll claim this one as the biggest and the best so far. But what you're seeing and what we're seeing, I woke up this morning, my first phone call was from Carl Icahn, who many of you might know. And then my second phone call was from somebody else, and then all these deals. And what I sense right now is that there's a real reawakening in the country. And what we've seen is that why it's been a bitch of a year, right? We'd all say that. There's been so many good things that have come out of it. So many good things that have come out of it for us each personally in reconnecting with what's really important and what's important for each of us and our families, but also the shifts that we started to do in our businesses and why it was difficult. And without question, it was difficult. My own business included. We're stronger as a result of it. And we're starting to see great sunshine for the spring and into the summer. So I predict that this year is going to be one of the best years we've ever seen in business. We're already seeing the indicators of it all the way around. And if we can go through the, excuse my language, and he knows I swear a little bit, we can go through the shit of last year, we can pretty much do anything. Exactly right. So thank you for having me. Thanks for letting me be here. And thanks for being an honor, let me be an honorary Texan. And you guys are welcome up to South Dakota anytime, let me tell you. Right?
Yeah. He had to come down here to meet people from South Dakota. All right, we're going to move through this. I'm going to kind of move this around. We're going to move through this really quickly. I wanted to introduce Essie from Work Innovators, one of our partner members. And you see the temperature check outside. She actually donated that. That's one of their company's products. Donated that to Success North Dallas. And we so appreciate you. And talk to her about Work Innovators. They're changing the workplace. They're doing it. They're going into companies and doing unbelievable things. But I want to acknowledge you, Essie. Thank you so very much. I sent out a press release. You will have it on Alan Barton. Alan has a little company, and he's changing the way you listen to things. Alan, give us 60 seconds. Come here. You tell it much better. Actually, he's changing. He's taking the noise out of sound so you continue to listen to stuff.
Hi, this is a wonderful opportunity to be able to share with what I've created with all of you guys. Bill, I'm very honored to be here. What I've done is my past experience has been as an audio engineer, and I used to sing opera professionally as well. So sound is very, very important to me, and I've been doing a lot of research, finding out that people like Johns Hopkins, Mayo Clinic, Harvard, Oxford, MIT have been doing clinical trials on using specific frequencies and measuring a higher brain cognitive ability, as well as what white noise has been documented at putting you to sleep. Well, I just said, well, wait a second, all of that's in all digital audio. Where's the software that I can get that will make the Rolling Stones or Mozart even healthier for me so I can have better focused attention? And I said, well, that's never been done. So 6 years ago, I said, okay, I'll do it. So I jumped ship, created a software company, got the software produced, patented, and this is something that can be used in for, like I said, all digital audio, music, podcasts, corporate training, online education. But the most amazing thing that Bill knows is closest to my heart is that two world-renowned neurologists, one here at UTSW Children's Hospital, also believe that what we've created will be a daily therapy for autism, as well as many other neurological disorders. And so we're in a process right now of growth and expansion and getting to meet people like you that want to be able to learn more about what we're doing. And I cannot thank Bill enough for inviting me here. Jeffrey Hazlett has been a big part of that. I met him actually as a speaker through another network. And once I met and found him, then I found C-Suites, and then I found Bill. And that's how we all network. We just got to meet each other, as many people as possible. So thank you for that opportunity.
Take care, my friend. Jeff and I sit on Alan's board, and we're honored to do so, my friend. Honored. Daniel Abroad, you have some people to introduce here. These people have flown in from 7 states, I think 2 countries, whatever. They're changing healthcare. And by the way, I have to say something else. Daniel is the founder, the chairman of C-Suite's Lone Star Council. And it's a geo council of C-Suite that you can hear more about afterwards. It's right here, all over Texas. So if you do business in Texas, you own a business in Texas, or you want to do business in Texas, you need to be a part of it. And Daniel is also, Lone Star Council is also presenting the Stetson to Jeff as well. Daniel?
I appreciate it. This is a great room. I mean, I've got 3 of my biggest mentors in here, Bill, Jeff, Nelson. So this is a great room. Lone Star Council members, Sandra D's here. Awesome. And Alan, yeah. And then we've got Alan and Essie. So it's a great room today. And we've got, we've got all these people together, but I'm really excited today because we do have our next gen mastermind. The mastermind was created by Nelson Griswold to change the way healthcare is delivered to employers and employees across the country. We are delivering a higher quality of care at a lower cost, and employers are saving 20, 30, 40% off their current costs. And it's all because of Nelson's original vision and mission to change the way things are done and break the status quo in healthcare. And with that, this is our quarterly mastermind meeting for our mastermind members, which I think are about 45 or 50 of the best innovative minds in healthcare in the country. Today we've got Allison DePauli from San Antonio, Deb Ryder you're from here now, right? Yeah, from Frisco.
Arizona.
And then Kevin Lewis out in, I think, McKinney or Plano or Frisco. And then Bill Hughes is from Waco, and myself. But we've got these great minds in town, and it's just an honor to have Nelson here visiting today, and just appreciate everything. And thanks.
Nelson's here from Nashville.
Yeah, Nashville.
Yeah. As you see, we're changing the format up a little bit. We're going to start bringing some partner members up. We're going to start doing some other things at each meeting a little bit differently. Debbie McAdams, what week is this? Where's Debbie? Come here. You got 60 seconds. Come here. Tell us what craziness you're doing. Cleaning for a Reason is a part of ISSA, the largest cleaning association in the world. Their goal is to clean 1 million homes of people with cancer for free. So you get to donate.
Well, since Bill told me I had 60 seconds, I cut mine in half. But I want to start off with just a few stats. In the United States, there are 650 cancer patients that go through chemotherapy each and every year. And this is the number that's staggering. In the United States and Canada, there are over 2 million people who are diagnosed with cancer every year. That's every year. And it's overwhelming to look at those numbers. So each year, during our Cleaning for a Reason week, we always pick a week in April. And we do that because we want to focus on building awareness of our mission. And that is to give free house cleanings to cancer patients. And we want to triple and quadruple the cleanings that we do here in Dallas. So that's a big mission we have going on in 2021.
They're working with the STARS, other large groups. So if you have a large corporation or a corporation that you want to get involved with them, even if it's some of your people have cancer, they need their houses cleaned. Or if you want to donate, whatever, just go see her afterwards. She's fabulous. Debbie Sardone and so many others, Debbie McAdams here. So, and there are also partner members. Thank you.
Thank you.
And then we have 3 spots left, $3,000 a spot. If you want to play in the LPGA Pro-Am, that's going to be held in Dallas. Kathy O'Neill, stand up, please. Kathy O'Neill will be down here afterwards, but you are invited. It's Wednesday, June the 30th. It's that entire week. And this is sponsored by Volunteers of America, 125th anniversary of Volunteers of America. And it will be where? And you can't get in. Is it wide open now, or is it? Right. So thank you very, very much. See her afterwards. There's 3 spots. We have 3 spots left. They gave us 6, but we have 3 left, $3,000 a spot if you want to play in the Pro-Am. And Neil, I know you want to play. So I know that. I know that for a fact. Little birdie told me. It's all ladies and you. Hazlett might even fly in for that. Jan, quickly, tell us very quick, the S&D Young Executives. Turn the mic on, please.
Mic is on. Success Star Dallas Young Executives. Started that a couple of years ago. Brought young executives together. Bill's idea to get somebody to take over after he gets really old and I get older. So this group got together. They're looking for mentors. They're looking for sponsors. If you know anybody in your organization or any young executive that could benefit from joining this group, they're up and coming. They've got a lot of different things going on. This is their board. They've got a great group of board members, all young executives in the area, and they do a lot of spectacular things. One of them that they do is a weekly or monthly lunch and learn. And to tell you a little bit more about that, we got Joshua Stevenson, and he's coming up. And there's Josh. He'll tell you a little bit about it.
Thank you so much, Stan. Hey, my name is Joshua Stevens, and I'm the Vice President of Membership for Success North Dallas Young Executives. And so it's an honor to be here before you. This next week, we have, I believe her name, I apologize, is Melissa Padilla, and she's going to be talking about user experience. She is a UE design experience programmer over at Capital One. And so a lot of us might think about customer experience, maybe Isadore over at Four Seasons creating that, and just the amazing experience that you get when you go into one of their properties. In the similar and same way, a user who is engaging a software or on a website has a certain type of experience as well. And she'll be talking a little bit about the psychology behind the user experience and just some tips and tricks, and really just giving us a huge data dump of how to create the best user experience for people. We also are looking for mentors. I know I have greatly benefited from having mentors in my life. And so if you're interested in partnering with S&DYE and helping be a mentor, we would love to have you. I'll be sticking around after this for a little while. I'd love to chat with you. And again, sponsorships, we're looking for sponsorships as well. well. You can make checks out payable personally to Bill Wallace. He'll take them. That's a joke, guys. But if you do need anything else, just let us know. Have a great one.
Also like to thank Gronwyn Allen for being the person behind it and sponsoring this organization, and Kent Barner, who's CIO Suites, who is there. They're coordinating all of their efforts. Bill?
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Josh will be down here by the Texas flag afterwards. I know there's several people that have interest in the young executives that have said so, and I'm going to apologize right now. We are going 15 minutes over. Set your clocks. We're going 15 minutes over. The networking was so good this morning that I couldn't stop it. I mean, I saw all of you and I couldn't. So we're going 15 minutes over. Bear with me, my apologies, but that's life. Finally, I want to introduce our partner members. These are people that came alongside of us when we turned 25 with a financial commitment, an annual financial commitment, so that we could keep our dues down at $345 a year, which includes all the food, the meals. We don't nickel and dime you. It's everything. We might have a charge happy hour when certain ones we have to charge for, but that's it. And this allows us to keep it down. This allows us to do things with ISSA, other people, and we're just very, very excited about it. But would all our partner members in the audience stand up, please? SAE Work Innovators, Jeff Curry and Chris, Real News PR, Debbie McAdams, ISSA Foundation, Cleaning for a Reason, wonderful. Neil Medwood, Mariplex. At the back, we have Mark Berg. I have to use the mic, I'm sorry. Mark Berg, City Central, incredible office space, incredible place. Success North Dallas, actually office there. And Chris Hill, how many years ago? 27 years ago, sitting in this room, much like Jan, almost 2001, started their companies at a table here in this room with the idea. And that's one of the 102 companies. Alan Burton is the 102nd company. And that says that on the press release that we just sent out. And then we have our newest partner member, JB the Great. JB, come on up here. This young man will amaze you. This I think is his 6th or 7th company. He's become an expert in Bitcoin. And JB, tell them what you do and welcome to our family as a partner member.
Thank you.
He's up from Houston.
Thank you. Good morning. It's so good to see everybody finally back. And I'm excited. Thank you so much, Jen. Thank you, Bill. It's good to be here. Seeing so many people that I haven't seen in a year. Coming behind what Jeff was saying, the past year was insane and it forced you to grow. And that's one of the things that happened with me. My company, JB the Great International, I'm also the founder of Accelerate and Next Level Mastermind. And one of the biggest issues that I've been solving for all of my clients around the world on every continent is they hear about digital assets and cryptocurrencies or Bitcoin, and they have no idea what to do. And so people have been coming to me and I've been helping them solve that problem and solution. So I'm excited to connect with everyone. I have a new YouTube show that I'm releasing. So hopefully I get Bill to come on there and my new podcast as well. So thank you.
Jeff Hazlett on there, and you ought
Yeah.
to get our speaker, Kent Billingsley, on there as well.
Yeah, we'll have a lot of fun. And if you know, Bill knows me, and Bill used to be my neighbor. So we met over by the piano, and
We did.
yeah, over by the piano, we had a great time. So Bill, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. Also, real quick, I have 2 of my executives with me. My business manager, Tracy Dawson. Also have Jazz Johnson with me, and also one of my good friends that connected me to Bill, Julie Pitcher. So thank you so much.
Julie, thank you, Julie. Welcome. Julie, we've been neighbors. We've been neighbors as well, but I appreciate it. Welcome to the family. And also we've got Baker Tilly, the Texas Legends, Fox Rothschild, Clint David, Phil Barnett was our first one that believed in us, Barnett Energy, Dallas Business Journal, Acuity Systems, now CFO, RP1, and So it's a very tight, small group. If you're interested in it, please see me or see Jan. We'd love to have you. And JB, you and Jeff Hazlett need to connect before you leave this building. There's so much synergy that I'd say it's $1 million connection for each one of you. So that's how we roll. That's how we roll here. I got the greatest job in the world. I get to put two people together, take a step back and watch the magic happen. And sometimes I actually get paid to do it. Sometimes I don't. But the ongoing is so fabulous. And with that, we talk about entrepreneurs. And I have to get a prop. And I always do a quote that is kind of a lead in. And this is one of my quotes. This is something I've been saying for years. An entrepreneur is one who shares his or her vision, shares the passion of that vision, and shares the ownership while leaving almost all, but not quite, of the ego at the door. Folks, we still as entrepreneurs, we still have to have some gas in our tank. And that's what the ego is. But an entrepreneur shares the vision, shares the passion of that vision, and then shares the ownership and does it for his fellow men and women so they can grow together. And that exemplifies our speaker today. Our speaker today is an incredible person. Over 30 years of success from startups to executive corporate roles, including international keynote speaking, management consulting, executive workshops in 36 countries on 4 continents, helping over 1,000 companies, thousands of CEOs, presidents, business leaders to grow their companies. The watchwords are faster, smarter, and better. Ken Billingsley is the founder and president of Revenue Growth Company. He's become known as the Revenue Growth Architect. As I said, helping thousands of entrepreneurs and CEOs representing well over 1 million employees generate several billion in new sales, as well as tens of billions in new revenue and profits when working with the larger corporations on multiple continents. He's personally designed, built, transformed, and turbocharged. I love that. Designed, built, transformed, and turbocharged several thousand organizations over the last 20 years. His original content, his trademark programs have helped thousands of entrepreneurs and employees learn how to create business wealth with what they already have. And the employees are learning this. The owners are learning this, and he's helping turn them into millionaires and multimillionaires using his trademark roadmap. His new book, The Entrepreneur to Millionaire. Mark Cuban doesn't do endorsements. And Mark Cuban endorsed this and called it a must read. Is one of the best business books I personally have ever read. And it is truly, and mark my words on this, the entrepreneur's Bible. It is truly the entrepreneur's Bible. The book is that good. Obviously not better than the Bible, but this is the entrepreneur's Bible. So ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome to Success North Dallas, Kent Billingsley, the Revenue Architect.
I'm not going to shake you. Thank you. Can we pass these out? Thank you. Bill doesn't know it, but you are going on the road with me. That introduction was amazing. Thank you. I appreciate it.
I have to rewrite yours.
Yeah, it's a big line. Yeah. So while we're passing this out, I've got a question for everyone, and I want to understand a little bit about you. How many of you are in or running companies that offer great products or services? Already applauding for you. Let me see. Keep the hands up.
Come on.
Now the next question. How many of you are in these companies and you're generating all the sales, revenue, profits, and cash flow that you could and should be from your great products and services? What just happened? In other words, we all have these tremendous products and services, these awesome customer experiences, but somewhere down here, we're only generating a little bit of the money, the wealth, the revenue, the sales that we could and should be. So there's a gap. And here's what's really interesting. In most cases, that gap is huge from your potential of where you could be, of what your products and services could actually be generating for your company. There's a massive gap. So why does that gap exist? Why is that gap there? And why haven't we been able to close it? Because we're some of the smartest business people in North Dallas, correct? That was the response time.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Well, in the galaxy. So why is that gap exist? Well, it's really interesting. It's really fascinating. The reason is you and I and the people in your companies, we've all been lied to. We've been lied to. You're smiling. You feel good about being lied to. Yeah. Well, what's interesting is we've been told and taught and sold on these ideas and these concepts and these business principles that don't work. They don't work. But no matter how hard you work and your teams work and how much effort you put inside your business, you'll never close that gap because you're believing and living these principles of success for business. And that's the problem. That's what we have to change. Let me just give you an example of that because it's easy to say, oh, wow, we're being lied to. There's myths out there. Let me give you an example of that. Tell me if you've heard this before. To be successful in business, you need to start, run, and grow business. You need to aggressively market and sell your products and services to the market space and grow your company faster. Have we heard that one? You know how many myths, falsehoods are in that statement I just made? 5. What's fascinating is everybody's going, oh, what did he just say? I wasn't listening. Here's what's fascinating about that is just one of those myths. Following one of those myths will suboptimize your company. But most companies, most leaders don't follow just one. They follow 3, 4, or all 5, and that creates that gap that you'll never close. Do I have your attention? I hope so. Because today, we're going to change. Today, we're going to transform. Today, we're going to start to see the world differently because I hope that one of the ways you measure success is not incremental growth, but how well you've optimized your resources to deliver the greatest value to your clients and services and at the same time, generate as much wealth as possible for your business, for you and your employees. Does that sound like a good definition? Yeah. So let me take you back. I want to expand on this and give you some background because we happen to be right here in the backyard of where this started for me. And where I started to see these myths inside companies and where I said, wow, boy, if we could just change this, if we could just move off of these myths, these lies that we believe. And let me share with you what's real important. There's not some conspiracy theory out there that people are teaching you or giving these lies to you on purpose. They're lies and myths because they used to work. They worked last century. They worked in the old models. Have things changed? It's fascinating. Almost everything on the outside of businesses have changed, but almost nothing on the inside. We think because we're using a lot of technology that, oh, wow, we're really advanced. We're really ahead. Everybody's using a lot of technology. We're not really advanced. We're not really ahead. So 25 years ago, just up the street, I was working inside EDS and I was doing sales organization optimization. I was implementing complex sales methodologies around the world and really enjoying the work because I could just see the transformation for the sales teams and sales and all that. The leaders came to me and they said, Kent, you're doing a great job. We want you to take on a bigger assignment. What we'd like for you to do is we want you to actually form a team and go back in the business units and see if we can get greater growth, more consistent growth, more profitable growth, and you ready for this? More predictable growth. Does anybody have trouble forecasting or seeing how they're going to do over the next few months? Yeah, the hands are going up. One of the greatest challenges in business, where's my cash flow? Where's money coming in? When am I going to bring those clients? Where are things in the pipeline? The conversation you have all day long with your salespeople, and they just tell you stuff to make it up to get you off their back. So I formed the team, and I was talking to the leader that was in charge of this assignment, and I said, I've got the team, I've got the project plan, I've got the direction, and I sense what we were trying to do here. We're trying to not achieve more incremental growth, we're trying to achieve optimized growth. And I said, so here's what my thinking is, I'd like to start with the best, highest performing business unit in EDS. There were about 7 to 9 at the time, averaged about $1 billion in revenue. And my leader goes, no. We're going to start with the poorest performing, weakest business unit there, and then we're going to work our way up. And I said, well, I like that. And this could have been a career decision, and I would not be here today if I wouldn't have stood my ground. And I said, well, here's my hypothesis. If we can go inside the very best business unit and uncover challenges, issues, problems, disconnects, I pretty much sense that every business unit is doing the same thing. And she looked at me and she goes, you get the first one. So formed the team, we went out, we spent about a year inside one of the highest performing business units. Their growth was 40% CAGR for the marketing people, compounded annual growth rate. 40% when you're $1 billion company is pretty impressive growth. And here was the fascinating thing is my team together working with the business unit, the CEO and the leaders, we uncovered all kinds of failure points, disconnects, impediments, challenges, all kinds of things that were preventing that optimized growth. Back to superior products and services, making this level of money, sales, revenue, and profits. And we uncovered and discovered, and we shared back with the team, here were all the things we're finding. Here's all the ways that you could be making a lot more money. But the problem is, the challenge is, the philosophy that you're following is flawed. And they were like, wait a minute, you don't get it. We're the highest performing business unit. We're the best of the best. Everybody comes to us for ideas. I said, that's great. But here's the issue is, the philosophy you're following is what I call more from more. And that's, if you want to fill that in on the sheet here, if you're following this along, I've had a lot of people over the years tell me they'd love to hear me speak. They've heard me for years, but by able to write it down and retain it, stats real quick, 87% of what you hear today, you're going to forget by tomorrow. If you write it down and copy it and memorize it and think through it, 50% will be retained tomorrow in the future. That's why I use this sheet, because it's so powerful for retention, because it's not how much you know, it's how much you can apply, right? And so they used a more for more philosophy. And the problem was, and this is what we're experiencing in most companies around the world, is as they were getting their growth, they were spending all this money to get it. And then what was left over was just a little bit of profitability. They were buying growth. The problem there, the flaw in this philosophy is you eat your profits. You burn your profits. You waste your resources. And so we gave them all kinds of ideas on how to fix that and how they could actually be generating a lot more profits. You ready for this? Using the resources they already had. And the CEO goes, oh my gosh, we don't have to spend more money on marketing. I don't have to hire another salesperson. We don't have to spend more hours. We don't need to get more proposals out the door, and we could be generating more top line and increasing the bottom line. I said, yes. Wow. So then we went off to another business unit. Now this time I said, well, let's go into an industry that's struggling. And I don't want to share industries or names or anything like that, because people from those groups might be in the room today, or they might be listening. We went into another business unit that was in kind of a flat growth industry. And flat growth, that's really tough. You're really now fighting for the pie that's not getting bigger. That's challenging, right? We went in there, we worked with these teams for a while, and we stepped back, my team, and we discovered this was interesting. They were following a different model. They were following a model that a lot of companies have been following through the S years, the S year that you just described. I won't use the word because I'm on videotape. This last 12 months, they've been following this one, not more from more, but now more from less, if you want to copy that in here. That was their overarching strategy to try to survive and have success. And more from less basically means here that you're now cutting, you're now burning, and you're now grinding your employees to try to eke out some profitability. What's the problem with that model? What's the flaw here? The flaw here is that I don't have a case study after 2.5 decades of where anyone has cut their way to optimize success. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. So we went back and said, you know what, we've got to show you some different ideas, some different methods. And we cross-pollinated from the different business units where we captured not best practices. If you're with best practices, that means that you're doing what others are doing. We captured superior practices that no one was doing. And we cross-pollinated those ideas out through different business units, helping them generate billions and billions of dollars in new revenue and sales without spending more money doing it. That's what's so powerful. And then from there, it was wonderful. They came to me and they said, well, we're going to promote you. And I became CMO of a $1 billion tech services company in Asia, helping run EDS Asia Pacific out of Hong Kong. We managed 16 countries, had about 11,000 employees. I also became Chief Strategy Officer. Now I could tinker and play with different countries of different maturities and different industries and kind of learn all kinds of things. So I took all this and captured notes and studied and analyzed, and I'm really anal about that. I'm a constant learner. I'm a thirsty learner. And I got a phone call from a friend, and he said, hey, why don't you come back from Hong Kong, come back and help me build out a startup company? And I said, well, I don't know. I really enjoy my life over here. I love it. If you guys have been to Asia or Hong Kong, it's an amazing, amazing place. So I hope you get to travel over there at some point in time. And he said, well, here's the deal. I know we're a startup, we're just getting going, but we'll give you an equity play. And we talked through that, and I said, the E word, you have my attention. And I remember the last friend that called me and asked me to go work for him, I told him no, because his startup wasn't making any money. He ended up selling his startup for $5.7 billion. So I made mental note that the next time a friend calls, I'm going to raise my hand. I come back, I fly back from Hong Kong, and right over here on Landmark Boulevard, 14875, I had two guys on my team. We were doing about $1 to $2 million in revenue. And now all of a sudden, instead of using more from more or more from less, which are both flawed models that we've been taught work and to achieve success, I said, I'm going to try something completely different. I'm going to try a different philosophy. I'm going to try this other philosophy down here, and it's going to be a counterintuitive approach on more from less, because I'm getting equity. So I want the company to generate wealth. All right, let me give you some statistics, because this is what's important. So we were about $2 million, $3 million. In 2.5 years, I took that organization to $38 million. And anybody in the software industry? Anyone in here? Okay. So we won over almost 3 years. We competed in 50 major contracts. We won 48 of them. That is a 96% win rate in the software sales industry. And this was not against no-name companies. This was CA, Tivoli, HP, BMC, IBM. These were the major players, and we were kicking their assets left and right. What made me most excited was, though, who's in staffing in here? Who's in recruiting? I've met a few people, yeah. The turnover rate on software sales is about 40% a year, which means that every 2.5 years, you've changed out your team. Over a 3-year period in software sales, I had 0 unplanned turnover. I had 5% planned. Astounding numbers. Well, how did I achieve that? What was the secret sauce, or what was it that I learned to apply to help get this phenomenal growth and create this amazing wealth? Well, there's this spin on more from less, and I equated it as the difference between what I call business growth and revenue growth. Business growth is when you're adding more clients, more customers, more services, more infrastructure, more costs, more headaches, more employees. You're adding, and you're eating your wealth as you go. You're eating up your profitability. Revenue growth, which is radically different, and I want you to learn, and what I'm sharing with you today, revenue growth is when you scale your revenues against an asset. In other words, you don't bring on more clients, you generate more revenue from each client. You don't sign more contracts, you generate more revenue from each contract. Your organization is designed, your system is set up to do bigger, better, higher margin contracts and transactions, and do them faster with fewer resources. Did everybody get that? That's how you get on the path of optimization. And so I started to track and measure from day one. What were the size of our contracts? Oh, they're about $100,000. Well, over a few years, I got that up to $400,000. What was our market penetration with our existing clients? We didn't have a single client where we had penetrated 100%. I told the team, I said, we're not making any more sales calls. We're not going after any more clients. And they were, what? We've been told to grow our business. We need new clients. I said, why? Why don't we go after the ones we have? And why don't we further penetrate? I started to bonus and pay commissions off penetrating existing clients up to 100%. What do you think happened? We found all kinds of revenue. We found all kinds of money that was already there. We didn't have to go find it. So I did that for a few years and had phenomenal success applying a more from less, or what I call a revenue growth versus a business growth approach. It's about 2002, 2003. I'm down watching the Mavericks, and I'm up in the owner's suite with, we know who, right? Mark. And Mark and I are talking, and Mark said, what are you doing now? He said, I know about your run at Micromuse. This was a public software company. He said, what are you doing now? And I said, well, you know, I'm not retired. I'm not ready to just work on my handicap. I want to go work with companies. I want to give back all the learning that I have, and I want to share all the things. I've had great mentors in my life. I had tremendous leaders at EDS. I want to share and give back. And I said, I've been working with lots of different companies, just going in and analyzing them and helping them understand where they are and where they could be. And he said, okay, what are you seeing? And I said, it's a phenomenal pattern. It's an amazing pattern. And he goes, what do you mean? I go, I see the same thing everywhere I go. And it doesn't matter, a small company, a startup, a large company. Everybody is great at what they do. Everybody's products and services are great, but they're not great at making money doing it. In most cases, they're trading their products and services and time for dollars. They're not leveraging the value and the worth of their products and services. And Mark looked at me and he goes, I agree. And I said, Mark, once I get enough case studies, once I go and travel around the world and start to test and validate this hypothesis and look through it, I'm going to write a book about it. And he told me that day, this was back 2002, 2003, he made this commitment. He said, I like what you're saying. When you write that book, I'll read it. And if I like it, I'll write the foreword for you. Several months back, back in about October, November, many months back, I got the full pass from the editors from McGraw-Hill. I sent it to Mark and I said, hey, Mark, I've been working on this book a long time to validate this. And I said, do you want me to write the foreword and then have you bless it? And he said, no. Those of you that know Mark, he's got a pretty good ego, right? He said, I'll read it. If I like it, I'll write the foreword. That's the foreword that's in your book today. That's the email that he sent me to say, this is what I read. This is what I learned. And so I share that with you because Mark is one of the most successful entrepreneurs in the world, and his stories are true and authentic. So why is this all important? Because what I want to do with you is share with you what is this that I've discovered. What are these patterns that I've seen that you can use in your business right now? And the key is that there is a different mental mindset, strategies, approach, and philosophies to growing a business versus creating wealth inside a business. And so I started to see more patterns as I worked with more and more companies. Now I have thousands of case studies from all over the world, 36 countries, as Bill said. I've got thousands of case studies to say that there's actually phases to creating wealth. Here's another myth. How many of you have heard that the secret to business success is offering great products and services? How many have heard that one? Well, if everybody offers great products and services, how's that a secret? How's that the path to success? It's not, and it can't be. And so what I call that the golden key. If I have the best products or services and we spend a fortune making our products and services better, we're going to have success. Well, you might have a little, but you'll never come close to optimization. So there's no longer this golden key, the perfect product or service that unlocks the treasure chest of wealth inside your company. Today, that treasure chest, that wealth, that potential that's in your business today, that's locked in there by a combination lock. And the difference between a padlock and a combination lock is you've got to know the right steps, the right sequence, the right numbers, the right path. Today, business must follow a formula to optimize, not to create some level of business success. And so I want to share with you, what is that sequence? What are those phases that I've not only seen, but I've tested in companies all over the world now? And these are the 4 phases. And just so you know, if you don't want to take the notes, pretty much the chapters of the book. And so the first phase up here, if you want to write this in, the first phase is what's called revenue ready. Revenue ready. Dan's back here shaking his head. Have you read the book 2 times, 3 times? How many times? On my 3rd. He's on your 3rd time. Yeah. How important was revenue ready? Yeah. So revenue ready means that you have validated the market space and you've validated now your ability for your company to make the most money possible. And I want to give you 3 principles that are critical to this. And if you read one of the book reviews on Amazon, the gentleman says it very well. He goes, this isn't a cafeteria where you get to pick and choose. You got to go one by one. It's sequential. It's the combination lock, because if you think about a combination lock, you can't jump the steps or you can't mix up the numbers. It's all about the sequence. That's the power. That's the synergy in all this. And so in Revenue Ready, the 3 principles are the fundamental marketplace problem, basically why you should exist. Number 2, what's your unique business model that solves that problem? Somebody was asking me the other day, I was doing a podcast interview and somebody said, Kent, you really talk a lot about an entrepreneur versus a small business owner. And I said, yes. And they said, give us one example. And I said, here's one of my favorite examples of the difference between a small business owner or a business owner and an entrepreneur. The small business owner looks at a fundamental marketplace problem or looks at an industry and says, I can do that too. I can put out my shingle and I can start a business and I can do that too. An entrepreneur says, I can do that differently. And I can do it better. That right there is the reason that so many small business owners try to survive or struggle with small profits. Because they don't think differently, they don't attack the problem in a unique way, and they don't bring a unique model to the marketplace. They're a me too. And now they're struggling and trying to survive like everybody else. The 3rd point in here, the 3rd principle that you want to capture and you want to wire this together is revenue streams. Revenue streams. Jeff talked about the companies that struggled over the last year, the challenges. In about 90% of the cases, we talk about the restaurants, they had a single revenue stream. That's extremely high risk. Those that had catering, those that had takeout, those that had delivery and already had that wired before the crisis hit were pretty much able to survive if it wasn't the government telling them they had to close. They were able to survive because they had those other revenue streams. Most companies, and a lot of you in here, have too few revenue streams. You don't have the right mix. So you're not revenue ready. You're not prepared to make all the money that you could and should from your products and services, no matter how hard you work or how good they are. And so now that is revenue ready. And if you'll notice this is color coded, that's red. Don't go past go, don't move forward, don't go past anything, and don't go spend $1 on sales and marketing until you truly are revenue ready. Until you've wired together. And here's another thing that's really interesting. Just this part about the fundamental marketplace problem is really challenging. I got an email from a company in the UK last night, and they said, wow, we were off and running, going 1,000 miles an hour, and then we read your book in the FMP, and we're like, stopped everything. They've gone back to re-understand their marketplace and why they should exist or not. So that's the work you've got to do as you go through this. The next phase, and this is not start, grow, maturity, decline. That's the model we were all taught in college or in business school or we read about books. This is now, we can move from revenue ready to now the next one is market ready. The great mistake that I have to solve all the times in companies is they're like, oh, I'm so frustrated with my sales team and my organization. I'm frustrated with my marketing. I said, yeah, you skipped a major phase. What do you mean? Well, you skipped a major phase. You went from solving a marketplace problem to now you just turned on the marketing and sales engine. Marketing and sales is your great profit shredder. Most of us think it's an investment. It's not, it's a spend. And I'm going to explain how to fix that. But in most cases, marketing and sales is just a profit shredder. It's the fastest way to destroy the wealth inside your company is on the marketing and sales side. In this phase, market ready. Now, the first thing is understanding targeting. Targeting is identifying your perfect client profile. And I'm going to go real fast here because I got to give you this. But there's 3 points that you have to do, and you have to wire it together. It's the demographics, the psychographics, and the characteristics. You have to wire those together to identify who you should be working for and who you shouldn't. Are all clients the same? And when I walk inside a company, we talk about that, and I said, well, why do you have these clients if you don't like them? They go, well, they pay. Okay. What would you prefer? And then they start talking about the client that they really like, and they talk about, oh, well, we love this client, they love us, they pay our fees, they don't complain, they handle their responsibilities. And I said, well, why isn't your portfolio filled with them? Well, it's not who we get or who we attract, sometimes we have to take. And I go, whoa. That's your system. It's broken. You're not attracting the best clients. You're settling for who you can get. That's another way to de-optimize your sales revenue and profits, by not having the very best customers. And that's the targeting side. The next principle that I want to walk you through is, after targeting, then packaging. And I love being here today and to help Bill and to share, but I love being here today because just down the road was a client that we had worked through the first phases, and we get to packaging. $5 million staffing company. Staffing company, who's in staffing? Where did I see back there? How cutthroat and commoditized is staffing? It's ruthless. You fight for pennies, yeah. So we had worked through this for several months. The CEO said, would you go on a meeting with me? I've got a meeting with a major corporation. It's a very important meeting. We think we can get a $500,000 contract or something like that from this thing, but I'd really like to have your expertise on this meeting. So I said, yeah. So we go into the meeting and we talk through some of these principles. We really focused in on this one I'm talking about now, called packaging. We had a phenomenal conversation with executives from their team. We got a commitment at the end of the meeting for a contract for $5.7 million. This staffing company doubled the size of their company in one meeting using the power of packaging and wiring together the parts and pieces the way the client wanted it, not the way they were trying to sell it. Wow. They didn't have to bring on 20 more salespeople and make 1,000 sales calls and 100 more proposals and fight that out in one meeting. They doubled the size of their company. This gentleman's now in his second and third company that I'm helping him with. That's the kind of thing of how you create wealth inside your company and not work any harder or spend or burn any more money doing it. The next thing, after you do your targeting and then your packaging, the third principle in this section, market ready, is messaging. You want to know the fastest way to absolutely transform your business so that you create phenomenal demand and attract the perfect client profile virtually every time. It's all about your messaging, your content, from your symbols to your phrases to your words to your pitches to everything associated with your company. The power of messaging is so critical. And it's not easy, but the power that it brings. And here's a point where, Mitch, will you stand up? First of all, please thank Mitch. Mitch brought you all those books today, and he sponsored this. And he did one more thing. He goes, Kent, you're going to have to sign them too. I'm like, wow, okay. So all last night, I'm sitting there watching the news, signing those books for you to give those back. But Mitch, he's been in our programs off and on for 10 years. Just take a second and talk about messaging, how challenging that is and what that means, how that can transform a business.
Kent, thank you for that. Kent and I, like he mentioned, have known each other 10 years, and I run a comprehensive financial planning wealth management firm I've had for 25 years. I've been very blessed and fortunate, and a lot of the mistakes that Kent had referenced earlier, we made those mistakes. We hired marketing people. We thought we had more people, but what I realized was that our perfect client profile, people wanted to talk to me, because a marketing person cannot articulate really what the owner can articulate to the client because they don't know everything. So using the messaging tools that Ken has utilized, we've been able to kind of refine the ideal client. from who we would like to get. But on the production side, I've been able to look at the fundamental marketplace of our industry. And our biggest challenge has been in a very low interest rate environment where bonds are basically dead. How do you take a nest egg and turn it into a paycheck at retirement? So I went out and hired some very, very good people. My head portfolio manager used to work for the Hunt family, and we're able to generate a portfolio that generates 1% per month without touching principal. I'm not finding anybody else in the country that can do that. There may be some hedge funds in New York that can do that, but that's a big differentiating factor. But Kent's helped us with our packaging and our messaging to communicate that message. And we had a record year last year. And this year, we've already done 64% to the end of February of what we did last year. So I think that the most critical message is you can hire marketing and sales people, but Kent's right, they eat up your profits. They really want to talk to you. You're the expert. That's who they're buying. And if you can communicate that message, you're going to be able to shorten the sales cycle and solve that your client's problem.
Thanks, Mitch. Yeah, and
Thank you for the books.
yeah, that was very generous. And, yeah, and that's the whole point. That is what I want you to learn. And not that I don't like marketing and sales. I'm a chief marketing officer. I've built sales organizations all over the world. They play a very critical role. But I want you to learn how, and this is very important, by working through these phases, you turn your marketing and sales into an investment versus a cost. And here's the other thing for the entrepreneurs, the people running the companies, they think they have all the time in the world, and so they just burn time and they burn resources. Don't do that. Time is precious, and time will cost you opportunities. All right, so the last thing is, after messaging, work on your power messaging tools, as I explained in the book. Those things, just an effective, not a commercial or a pitch, but an effective value proposition can change your business overnight, and get to the point where it's not just you saying it, but everything on your website, everything in your materials, everybody, your surrogates and others can deliver that same value proposition, not your pitch, not your commercial about your company, but the value impact that your company provides. That's what you want to share. The next one after that, then, pricing strategies. Too many companies that I find, and I go inside and I look and I go, oh my gosh, you only have one pricing strategy. It's cost plus. Whatever my costs are, I add 20% or add 30%. That's our cost, and we pass out in the marketplace. That is one of the worst ways to ever determine what your pricing is. As you'll read through this book and you'll understand this roadmap is you should have multiple pricing strategies. You should give things away for free. Okay, let's talk about that. Who does that? I mean, in retail, Costco. How well is Costco doing? Yeah, exactly. Well, using these principles and tiered pricing strategies, what does Costco give away for free? Oh no, you got to pay for the hot. Are you been stealing the hot dogs up there? They are not going to invite you back to the LPGA tour if you're stealing the hot dogs. No, you got to pay for the hot dog. What's free? The samples. Yeah, I mean, there were days pre-COVID, I could do the Friday buffet and I was full. I'd come home and say, I've been to Costco. I bought more stuff than I needed, but I'm full. The point here is they give things away for free. Well, there's multiple reasons I can't give you. There's psychological reasons for doing that. But now, following my tiered pricing strategies, what do they do things where they lose money? Now, the hot dogs. Now, that's the answer. Say hot dogs. Hot dogs, okay. Yeah, they kind of lose money. But there's one area where they really lose. They lose, I think I've heard $150 million a year. They lose money. What is it? The roasted chickens. Yeah, the roast. She's like, what? The roasted chickens, I think, cost them about $7 for materials, labor, all that to roast and then prepare all that. And they sell them for $4.99, $5.99. Why would a company lose money on things? You're in the store, and where are the chickens in the store? Are they when you first walk in? The very back. You got to do the Costco walk. And their carts are supersized because you can't like put an item in there. You got to load the cart, right? Yeah. This is using multiple pricing strategies. All right, good. So that's market ready. You should not spend $1 on marketing. You should not hire or fire another salesperson until you've worked through these phases. Otherwise, you're going to be shredding your profit. You're going to be eating the wealth potential of your company by burning that money. All right, now that we've got those phases ready, let's move into the next. And keep me on time, Bill. Let me know.
About 5 or 6
Okay, so I want to work into the last few phases real quickly. The last one now is a go-to-market. Now, we all heard go-to-market before, but I want to expand on it because there's your marketing demand creation system. Marketing we think of as activities. That's a failure point. We should think of it as a functional area that creates demand and accountable for all leads and demand. Your sales is now your conversion engine, your conversion system. It's not salespeople, it's not sales transaction. It's how your organization is designed to convert and turn your contacts into contracts as fast as possible. Speed is the game. Things that sit in the pipeline cost you a lot of money. So there's a whole chapter, not on pipeline management, but pipeline acceleration. There's a company right down the road here. They're in the development space. Been working with them for 7 years, and most of what we focus on is pipeline acceleration every week. We talk about how fast we can go, and we've gotten their average sales cycle from, I think, is about, 10 months now down to 4 months. So what does that mean? 10 months down to 4 months. I've now doubled the size of the sales force or the sales production for no money. For no money. When we collapse time, that's doing things faster. Now, all of a sudden, now I've doubled and maybe we can get them to a point where I've tripled the production. At one time, I'll share some numbers with you. I won't share names, but this company down the road, they had about 5 salespeople and $1 million in revenue. Today, through attrition and retirement and other things, they have 1 salesperson producing $3 million in revenue. That's creating business wealth. I love salespeople. I work with staffing companies. I build sales organizations. I bring salespeople in. I bring marketing people in and marketing organizations. But we want them to fit inside a system that's actually creating wealth, not just creating growth. So after pipeline management, then the next thing you must have, and we really do a poor job of this, and you've got to improve this part of your game, is strategic alliances and partners. Strategic alliances and partners. You should have 3 to 5, both formal and informal strategic alliances and partners in your models. Those are the ones that are creating the demand, opening the doors. Your strategic partners are inside the companies where you're spending a fortune in marketing and sales trying to get into. Don't do it. Use them. All right, that's go to market. The last phase that's really important. This is really fun as you develop and build through and master this thinking around creating business wealth. This last phase is what I call own the market. Own the market. Company just down the road here over in Addison, their sales win rates when we started working together, they were 17%. That means they're winning 1 out of 5 opportunities. We reversed that in about 6 to 9 months. Their win rates now are 80%. They're now winning 4 out of 5 opportunities. And better yet, the opportunities are bigger. But the CEO said the other day, he goes, the most beautiful thing of all, we don't discount anymore. We don't lower our prices to win or buy business. We're now winning based on the merits of the value proposition of what we do. That's how powerful that is. So what do you do here? How do you get this started? You're very fortunate. You've got a book. The executive out in California, we were talking the other day, and I said, where do you feel you need to start with your company? This is the funniest thing. He goes, page 240. And I'm like, hold on. Okay, look up 240 in your book. It's how to talk to your team about the fact that I hope today that I didn't just share with you. I hope today that I just didn't give you a speech and be your guest speaker today. I hope today as I changed your perspective of business. I hope today that I've gotten you off the path of trying to grow your business and start to understand this roadmap of how do you create business wealth. And business wealth is when you generate more sales, revenue, and profits without spending more time, money, or resources doing it. How do you feel? You excited? You ready to go out and here, I got to tell you this story real quick. I'll probably borrow some extra minutes, but my 11-year-old, we were talking the other day, and he said, Dad, what's the most entrepreneurial country in the world? He loves geography. And I said, well, at one time it was America. So we looked it up. We're not even second. We're now third. You know who's first and second? This shocked me. Germany and Japan. I got to tell you, that got my competitive juices going because I'm like, why aren't we number one? Jeff, why aren't we number one? because we've gotten lazy. We've gotten used to our successes. We've gotten happy and we've rested on our laurels, and we're following those myths of work harder, work smarter, not harder. Sales is sales. I mean, we're living all these myths that I hope, and as you read this book, I'm going to destroy a lot of those myths that are helping, that are working against you to optimize your company and create the success that's possible, that's already inside your business. And if I can leave you with one final message, there is tremendous wealth that is already inside your company. You just got to use the combination lock to get to it. Yes. Bill, would you like me to take a couple of questions? How are we doing?
I tell you what we'll do on the questions. Why don't
Yep.
we stick around afterwards?
Yeah.
In the interest and respect of everybody's time.
Yes.
But
I'll stay here as long as we want. And Mitch will be here.
Stay here till tomorrow. So we're covering that. We just have to feed it. Somebody's got to buy it.
Give me coffee. Yeah.
But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, Kent Billingsley.
Thank you.
Okay, I was introduced, actually, I got to co-host Kent with Daniel LeBron. Daniel introduced me to Kent. We did a Lone Star Council event with him. And when I walked out of the room with him, I said, I didn't ask him to speak. I said, you are speaking at Success North Dallas. And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. This has been fabulous, a fabulous book. And truly, and Dan, I haven't read it twice. I've only read it once and a half, but 1.5 times. But it's a fabulous book. And I asked Kent to do something. And we don't do this at Success North Dallas normally. But I said, would you accidentally bring a few extra books? And I said, what do you charge for an autographed copy of a book? He says, $50. I said, would you do it for 20? So if you want to take some books back, everybody gets one. One book free. But if you want to take some books back to your office or to somebody, you have some extra. Did you bring some?
Yeah, I've got a few. Yeah, I'll
Okay.
personally autograph them with
It's
whatever name.
cash deal, no tax, just
Yeah.
$20. And he's going to do something good with that. We'll tell you about later. He might take his wife to dinner for getting him up so early. But just I want to thank you very much. I have something for you. And it's not a hat, but it's a book. And it's a book that was given to me.
Oh, yeah.
By Colleen Barrett when she retired as president and CEO of Southwest Airlines. She gave it to the entire board of directors. But it's The Nature of Excellence. It's by Lee and Julie Cohen. Julie, where are you? Thank you so much for these. She gives these to me. I get more pleasure giving these out, giving these away. But a book.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
inside of the book, you
Yeah.
can put this.
Okay.
Dinner for two at McGuire's.
Thank you.
And before you go to dinner, stop by the Awake, the Old Lake and I,
Uh-huh.
and have breakfast for two.
Awesome.
And your wife will be receiving a massage or a facial from Grand Spa.
Oh, wow.
I do not.
I can't have that? I can't have that?
Well, you can have it if you want to get divorced, but yeah. I think that's hers. And Mitch, for you and your generosity, dinner for two at 12 Cuts. Fabulous Brazilian steakhouse. A fun thing about 12 Cuts that people don't know, it was founded by the founders of Fogo de Chao, so they could do everything they couldn't do at Fogo de Chao after they sold it. So it's a fabulous place. And of course, Mark McGuire, 20 years of giving dinner for two. When you see him, when you use your gift certificate, tell him I said to come to at least one meeting.
He needs to be here.
Yeah, he needs to come to at least one meeting. But thank you so much.
You're more than welcome. Thank you. Thank you.
Mitch, thank you. I'm going to sail, bear with me. We've got some important stuff. I'm going to sail through it. But just like I said, we're going to go 15 over. For that, I kind of sort of apologize. But my gosh, the networking was great this morning. I couldn't stop it. I couldn't stop it. So anyway, upcoming meetings, in person and virtual. Commander Guy Snodgrass, retired Navy Top Gun instructor, fabulous speaker, fabulous book, Top Gun's Top 10 is his talk. So please bring somebody next month. This room, I look out at all the people here. I'm so honored to stand in front of you all. I love each and every one of you. You are family, and it just honors me. So that meeting is May the 19th. Then on June 16th, this is my favorite meeting of the year. For the 20th year, we will be presenting the Dallas Police Officer of the Year Award. We will be presenting several Police Officer of the Months. The Dallas Police Chief will be here. The CEO of Club Corp will be here, David Pillsbury. Club Corp, the clubs of Prestonwood are actually helping to sponsor that meeting. So the police, we cover it for all of these. We'll have probably 50 guests, and we will be presenting the Prestonwood Employee of the Year, the clubs of Prestonwood Employee of the Year for the 20th year. So it's a special, special meeting with special people, and that's June 16th. Then we've got, I think, 2 open spots for the rest of this year left. We've got some great people coming in. Upcoming sponsored events. April the 29th, that's a week from tomorrow, are our Success North Dallas Young Executives. Josh will be down here afterwards. All of you if you're a young part of our young executives or young executives, wave your hand. Just there, all the young executives table here. If you're interested in joining the young executives, or you have a young executive that you want to join them, please come down by the Texas flag afterwards. May the 7th, First Friday Book Synopsis. Randy Mayhew, are you out there?
I am out here. You hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Very well. We can even see you.
Okay. Well, Bill, thank you. And I'm presenting the synopses of 2 very good books on May 7. One of them is Kim Scott, Just Work, Get Stuff Done Fast and Fair. She wrote Radical Candor. And then a perfect follow-up to Think Again by Adam Grant, which I just presented, is The Scout Mindset, Why Some People See Things Clearly and Others Don't, by Julia Galeff. That is May 7, Friday morning. It is a remote meeting, and that's the First Friday Book Synopsis. Thank you, Bill.
First Friday of every month, an incredible return on your time, 24 years of doing this. Always, if there's every top 10, I think, on the New York Times list, business books, he's done. And unbelievable operation. May the 13th, C-Suite's Lone Star Council. Dan will be around some afterwards. See him about that or see me. We'd love to have you come and join us. It's a fabulous group. We have some fabulous speakers like Kent Billingsley, Ed Curtis, Texas, who's been here as well. So some great things there. And then we're going to start doing happy hours next month, maybe this month, maybe the end of this month. But we've got them put together at the Lincoln Experience, sponsored by CloudX, Mike Rochelle, Bavette Grill at Granite Park, the Virgin Hotel, and then something special at next month's meeting. Misty Hoyt, before and after the meeting, photography by Misty. We do this every year. She'll be doing headshots. You need to schedule with her. We'll get something out on it. I think the package is $99. And after coming back from COVID, you can say, I look a little different. So I need a new headshot too. Hazlett's beard has gone from black to gray. He needs a new headshot. So, but we're going to be doing that. We're remote and in person, but we rely on a lot of things in this room. But if you're interested in making a donation to Success North Dallas, 20, 30 bucks, whatever, you can go to our website. There's a little donate button. We all had a rough year last year. Randy's First Friday Book Synopsis, same thing, because a lot of you out there virtual. So if you'd like to make a donation, please do so. Remember ISSA Charities, Cleaning for a Reason. Debbie McAdams will be down here as well afterwards. And membership, our qualifications for membership are very simple. Success in your own eyes, honor your commitments, be a giver. Our dues are $345 a year. That includes everything and the first-time guest you bring. So that's Continental Buffet, the best speakers, first-time guests. It's a place, the relationships that are built here are what it's all about. This is one of the meetings you can go and say, I go for the speakers. So many meetings, we go for the hallways, the interaction, but here you get both. You get both. And then finally, I want some special introductions. We're going back. We haven't done this, but first and foremost, any new members in the last 60 days, just stand up and give your name and your company only, if you would like to. Any new members in here that would like to do that in the last 60? Well, thank you. Not only does he buy the books, he joins. Mitch? Please. Thank you. Welcome to the family. Nice. Welcome. We're so glad to have you all. So glad to have you. And then secondly, if you are in transition, new to Dallas, or looking for an internship, please stand. Your name and your discipline only. Your name, your discipline only. Come down afterwards to the American flag. And anybody in the room that has an idea for you, please come down and visit with them afterwards. Please stand and introduce yourself as you're comfortable to do. And I saw something Mindy put up about never been in this situation before on the internet. I called her and I said, you need to come. And Mindy, I'm so glad you came. Come down afterwards. Anybody that has any idea for her, or Jeff, maybe you'll just go hire. But I like to pick on him. I love him. He's my brother that I didn't have. And Claudner. I know. We've been doing this for a long time. And all attendees, both virtual and remote, will receive a link probably in the morning to the content of this meeting, the video. So you delivered a lot of stuff, and we really and truly appreciate it. And with that, I'm going to say, let's see, did I cover everything? Hi, Julie, my old friend from a long time. Thank you for introducing us to JB. Lone Star Council, Daniel, thank you for that. And I heard a comment that was made about hiring somebody. I thought it was very good because we're in such an entrepreneurial space. If somebody says they don't want equity, they just want the money, forget it, because they don't believe in what you're doing. So I heard that, and that just stuck. And that so delves into what Kent's done. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm so honored to have all of you all here. Thank you. I didn't see a person leave. Thank you for that. And so may you do what you love to do with people you love to do it with on purpose. God bless and Godspeed. I love it. I love you all. Jeff Hazlett's going to be right down here as well. You want to know something about C-Suite or Hero Club, Jeff will be around, or Lone Star Council, Dan, myself, partner members, or Jan, or whatever. Just stay and network. We've got the room. So enjoy. God bless and Godspeed.
Well, there must have been a room full, Lucinda.
There must have been. I was trying to get pictures in there, but it's hard to do remotely.
Yeah. I posted a few on Twitter.
Oh, good. All right, I'll go forward on that, endorse them. Yeah. And I see Bill posted one on LinkedIn while he was sitting there, so that's great. Normally I would do that, but I'm a little busy with the Zoom right now. I did ask if those of us on Zoom will get copies of the book, and I didn't get an answer yet. So I'll pass that on to the guys to hopefully put it in the email that goes out afterwards.
Thanks for the meeting. See you guys next time.
All right, please join us. Yeah.
Take
All
care.
Thanks for the
all.
meeting too. Thank you. Glad to be here. See you guys.
Thanks. Did you guys save your chats? There's some
I
good
did.
info. Okay, there's some good info in there of, linking with others on the call. So looking forward to seeing you guys next month then.
Thanks, Lucinda.
Thanks.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Randy. Bye-bye.